you can have someone that is very talented in a certain skill set, but then the person's attitude very sucks. Then I probably would consider someone else with a good attitude, willing to learn and willing to put in the time together with me, and then I will be more willing to teach also. Hey everyone, my name is Rachel.
And my name is Bjorn, and welcome back to Grow Your Money.
Hey Bjorn, do you remember yesterday I sent you this TikTok video? It's about unemployment in the 30s. So meaning to say, right now, a lot of people in our 30s, right, they are unemployed.
I got laid off, unfortunately. I applied over 200 roles, but I only got like 4 responses.
I have been looking for a job for around 6 months already.
I didn't have any plan B. I didn't expect myself to be unemployed in my 30s.
So I saw the video on YouTube first. So actually the TikTok is just a short version of it. So if you go on YouTube, there's actually a whole 30-minute same thing as snippet.
So long?
Yeah, it's about it. And yeah, it's about 30s lah. It's quite actually when I watch it, right, it was a bit I was a bit shocked.
I'm very shocked
because
also.
For us, you would think that 30s is the peak of your career, right? And I think one of the sharing was about this girl who, not only her, she said the husband was
also unemployed.
Yeah, so it was a bit shocked lah. But you know, Rachel, how long did it take for you to, when you first graduated, right? How long did it take for you to find your first job?
Wow, actually for me a bit special, because I took a gap year after my university, so I intentionally not look for a job one. But if you count very seriously looking for a job, I think it's about 3 months.
When? How long ago was that? You were not scared, man? You cannot find a job?
I was, at the second month, I was a bit scared.
After you took the gap year?
Yeah.
Okay.
After I took the gap year, then I come back and I know that I want to seriously start working already.
Okay.
Then it took me 2 months and I think I got about 3 interviews and then I was a bit scared already.
How many did you apply?
Wow. I didn't apply that much. I applied about 30. Then I got like maybe 3. So about 10% people reach out lah.
Okay.
But the data a bit backdated because it's like 8 years ago already.
Yeah, because now the video, some of the experience is some people, there's even an article. I was just looking at it from CNA as well.
Yeah.
They just released this article just slightly less than a month ago, right? And some people, they apply over 100 over and they...
I think some of them apply 200, 300 over jobs. And they only get a couple of responses, but they didn't even land the job.
Okay. Do you find it hard or not at that point in time?
I didn't find it hard because I think I quite okay lah. With interviewers, quite easy for me because I'm a girl.
Okay.
For maybe guys or someone who's very shy, maybe it's a bit harder.
So for me, right, when I usually our graduation is in July, right? And
for local uni,
it's around July. And actually, the year before, right, in October, right, I started to find job already.
Huh?
So Sem 1, I started to find, because I wanted to secure first, right? Then I did my resume and everything. But I couldn't find a job at all. I went to the second round, third round. So a lot of them, they are already looking for fresh grads lah. Even until January, February, when I found, I couldn't find. And I always kind of at the last stage, I got cut lah, whatever. And very interestingly, even after I graduated, I don't have a job yet. So my first job, right, is I applied for a role, then I went for just one interview. Then I didn't have hopes. And I remember that week, right, I was in Bangkok with my roommate because he said he already find a job. He said, hey bro, we just travel a bit before we start work. Then I screw it lah. Yeah, just go lah.
Yeah.
Then I remember it's on that Friday, suddenly I received a call. Then overseas call, you at that point in time, we don't have WhatsApp call there.
Yeah.
But it's a Singapore number, so I had to answer lah.
You scared, right?
I scared lah, but then I had to answer Then it's a company that say, hey, we want to offer me. Then I was like, wow, finally.
Yeah.
But they want me to start on Monday.
They
call me on Friday.
Bangkok.
Yeah.
Huh? So urgent?
Yeah, they called me on Friday, then they want me to start on Monday. But that was my only option, right?
Yeah.
So in the end, I took it lah. That was my
then you
first
fly
job.
back?
I flew back. I was going to fly back on the next day. So then I just took it lah because I reached the point. Usually when you start finding jobs, you will be, let me choose. I want this, I want that.
Yeah.
But there are kind of point, and I think people have experienced this like
Yeah.
now, is that you just pick what comes your way first.
Yeah.
And you figure it out along that
Because
way,
you
right?
kanchong already, right? And you, like, you know, your next month's expenses, your bills are coming. And then maybe your parents also, your partner, hey, how come you still haven't found a job yet? So maybe they kanchong, then you just take whatever comes, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you see, now, so during our time, I think your experience, my experience is a bit different lah. But at the end of the day, you know, we were still able to get quite a decent number of interviews and all. But it's very different from
Now.
now, right? So what's your opinion? Why do you think now is very hard for fresh grads to find a job?
Wow, this one, I think everybody could have the same answer. It's because of AI.
Why
Because
specifically
AI is taking over so many people's jobs. Last time, we have, I think, a team of maybe 2 copywriters. Inside the marketing team, there's 2 people just focused on copywriting. And now everybody has to learn the skill because ChatGPT has already replaced copywriting, right? You don't need a person specific just to write emails, just to write ad copies, you know, things like that. So I think AI actually replaced quite a number of the jobs already. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
why harder lor. What do you think?
I agree lah. I mean, it's all a lot of jobs. I think it started out. I remember the first time when we saw ChatGPT. I remember the day. It was November 2022, and I was just using one of this previous job, right? And this guy was using, and we were saying, I was like, wow, that was so amazing. They gave me everything. That was GPT 3, not even 3.5. It was the first
Oh.
iteration.
I see.
And at that point of time, people just thought it was cool, never thought of it. And I think we've seen today it has evolved that
So much.
not just being a large language model, but now if you look at all the big corporations, Microsoft, Google, everyone is using it. And initially, it just threatened the jobs of copywriters.
Yeah.
But now it's threatening jobs of graphic artists. Right?
Yes.
It's going to threaten video editor jobs in
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah.
And what we are using is just a fraction, and companies are using a lot more to replace a lot of things lah.
Yeah. Hey, by the way, I heard that whatever you get, right, as the public, right, is already a lagging thing already.
Yes.
So which means they in maybe the corporate or maybe military, right, they started using more advanced stuff compared to what is available to us because we are the public, right?
Consumer lah.
Yeah, so we'll get it delayed already. So now it's even more advanced already.
Yeah. So I think we all agree lah. Yeah, I believe the audience will also agree. But we still need to find a job, right? We cannot. If we say that everything is AI, then we will be phased out, right? So how do you think that they can kind of like make this one stand out?
I think just now very interestingly you mentioned like video editors, graphic designers, right? So the end of the day, there, like for example, let's say for weddings, there are still requirements because you cannot get the AI to shoot your wedding, right? You need a physical photographer, physical video editor to be there, or videographer to take the video. So I believe people who needs to stand out, right, especially if your industry is being threatened, you need to be the one that make use of all this AI to make your job easier, to make you churn out things faster compared to your peers, compared to, you know, other people that are not using AI at all. So instead of just thinking, oh, wow, I don't want to use AI because it might threaten the future of my industry, future of my job, you should be embracing it.
If anyone says that, they'll be the first one to get. If you're resistant to change and not think that AI is the next frontier, you will be replaced immediately lah.
Very fast
And I think that because it's very interesting. What I also realize is that people are kind of moving back to the olden days. Very interestingly. I say in terms of fashion, it might not be linked, but there's the idea. Last time, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, right, the fashion sense was what we call Y2K. Right?
Yeah.
That kind of dress sense. Then it evolved to all the different trends. And now we are going back to Y2K.
Yeah.
Now, similarly, right, before the AI came about, right, everyone was writing and all articles and throwing a lot of information.
Yeah.
But now that all the information is easily sourced, right, people are going back to who is the one sharing it, which is the person character, the person, how the person is, right? Then they vibe with the person, because if everyone is sharing the same information, what makes a company like someone? Because experience will be the same, right?
True.
Right. It's about how they feel. Hey, this guy, this girl. Hey, I think this girl attitude very good.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's all attitude, right? You agree with me,
I think it's more of like whether this person, right, you want to be very employable, right? I think my previous mentor told me before, nobody in the company is irreplaceable, but you can make yourself very hard to replace. Like how when you are doing marketing, you can learn how to do video editing, you can do image creation just using ChatGPT. So even though our skills is limited, right, you can learn more things that make yourself very, very hard to replace. So if let's say person A is someone that is multi-talented, knows graphic design, knows video editing, knows marketing, also know a little bit of operations, also know a bit of sales, versus someone else who is like just focused on video editing. So if a company needs to, let's say, very unfortunate, need to get rid of someone, who do you think the person will be get rid of?
I get you.
It will be person B because person B only got one skill set. So I think the best advice that I can give is really to make yourself harder to replace. Not go and like really take on every projects lah. Take on projects that maybe you are more interested in or skill sets that are something that that your company is lacking. Then you can easily take it up lor.
Yeah, I guess this applies to people who are already have a job lah, right?
Yeah.
And I do agree with you because I think I've also seen, personally, even some of my friends as well, I've seen some of them, I don't know whether it's a career break or they're let go lah, that I have no idea. But you can kind of, at least in my opinion, the general sense is that people are getting unemployed. More and more people are and it's people of our age groups.
Actually, my friends also.
Yeah.
Like, they are leaving their jobs without any plans.
Yeah, okay, that is another topic. I don't know. I guess now it goes to the idea of mental health, but we can talk about mental health another day lah. But let's say for those of you who are especially fresh graduates watching this, finding a job. Yes, AI is a challenge, but I do agree that we should all adopt not just using GPT to learn about different AI tools because being, at least when you're starting a job, there's no specialization, right? You cannot specialize in a certain field. Like
unless you're a doctor lah, that's very different, right?
Like I started with engineering and now I'm in a totally different space. So I think it's about just exposing yourself and doing different things. And I think one very, I remember when I started finding jobs, right, I recite questions one. That means I recite answers one. So I kind of guess the questions they can ask. Then I show back. Equally like 10 series one. So I was a bit rigid. But then now I realized that actually, not just everyone will want someone that is honest. So I mean, it's telling them that of course you have your own experience and that comes from doing a lot more internships, spending your time more useful. But I think a lot of people, for those that is finding a job, people value how are you as a person rather than what you can do. It's always about you, ma.
I think what you mentioned about the attitude part is something that even when I'm hiring, I'm also looking for that. You can have someone that is very talented in a certain skill set, but then the person's attitude very sucks. Then I probably would consider someone else with a good attitude, willing to learn and willing to put in the time together with me, and then I will be more willing to teach also. Yeah, if someone that is very good performer but a bit asshole, that you won't vibe well with your culture, right? Then probably it's not a very good fit also. Yeah, and which comes to my question also, because a lot of people, right, they actually say, hey, now with AI, do you really need to go into so high in university? Do you really need to take like degree, PhD, master to be more employable? What do you think, Bjorn?
This is a very interesting question. I guess for me, with the stigma, I still think, at least in Singapore context, ultimately you still need a university degree lah. For example, last time, when the internet came out last time, the .com bubble, 2000s, right? People say, oh, diploma is enough. Then, you don't need anything. But then it eventually moved to degree, minimum degree now, right? I honestly think that's how education moves down the road.
Society also.
Yes, I mean, yes, you don't need an actual education cert to grow big in life, right? But at least if you're finding a job, the first impression matters. And you must remember that for people don't know who you are as a person from the resume. So the first impression judges based on what you have, ma.
Yeah, on paper lah.
Yeah. So you kind of need that paper qualification first. And then to get your first foot through the door, then you share about yourself and then your experience comes in already lah.
True. I think end of the day, I mean, we are employers, they are still realistic. They have to look at certain criteria to get you through the door, then they can see whether this person really fits or not. I think there are also questions about like, hey, did university really prepare us for the job market? If yes, right, how come there are so many people right now in their 30s that are like unemployed?
I think that what we have been taught growing up, right, is a very standard way, right? You study hard, and it's true how at least our generation, but you study hard, you get a good job and you work lah. And I think at least in how we work, our education system is taught us to walk that one-way path.
Yeah.
But being that one-way path makes you become a robot, right? You're very good at
Singaporeans.
following rules, but what we need to do is how to stand out from others doing the same thing. And how to stand out, it can go from things like doing internship, doing more jobs. I think a lot of it is also going out to meet people and also having hobbies and doing things that I like. Because people don't want someone that is also whole day working. They want to know, hey, this guy has some life one, some interest, has some personality. People like personality, right? So I think that is kind of like, even though our education system taught us to be one way, we cannot go to a mode because it's not one size fit all, ma.
Yeah,
right?
you cannot just focus on one single thing and then like you just that's all lah. Hey, but Bjorn, you got hobbies, eh?
I try to have I try to have hobbies lah, but I guess my hobby now, even though it's part of my work, I just like to read about things. Of course, I'm trying to have more normal hobbies lah and everything. So that's what lah. Okay, I don't really have a lot of hobbies. I used to play the guitar, but then I'm a little bit lah.
Okay, next time we do a talent show, then you can showcase.
We can, of course.
your guitar.
So let's say for graduates, right? Do you think that it's best for someone to take a less ideal job first, or should they wait for the dream role? What do you think?
Wow, take a less ideal role. Less ideal meaning what?
That means it's not what they want lah. Example, let's say I'm an engineer, right? Then this job is not engineering. This is a financial advisor role. What do you think?
I see. Wow, I think it really depends on your passion. Because like you can study for a certain degree, but at the end of the day, you don't have to do what you studied for. I mean, that is what's happening for a lot of us, right? And I guess why people in their 30s, right? Actually, it's our age lah. Millennials, we are, slowly losing interest in what we studied for, right? It's because we have so many options. There's so many things out there. And I think the thing that truly lasts, right? You also agree with me, one, is your passion. Whatever that you have a fire for, right? Go and pursue it. Like, don't just stick to, your current role or what you study for. There's this sunk cost mentality that, I have been working in this industry for like 10 years already. Then if I change now, I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting from zero. Then you have to start from being a junior. Then people are very afraid of that. But I think that now our society is not so rigid anymore. You can be in your 40s and you are restarting in a new career. Yeah, so I think don't really have to really stick to it if you ask me. What do you think?
Same for me. I think this goes down to at least what advice I'll give to someone graduating or finding or just someone finding a job, right? I think the most important thing is number one, upskilling yourself, and number two, trying to create more side income of your own. Right.
Oh yes,
so
definitely.
Upskilling yourself, I guess that in Singapore we have a lot of skills future, those are the stuff. And upskilling yourself doesn't have to be career, it can be other stuff because that opens up your opportunities to a lot of things. And upskilling yourself, I think a lot of it is really going out to talk to people because that brings up your personality, your extroverted self, and who knows, a connection might come then.
True.
I think the next one is side income, right? And honestly, this is related to investing, right? Because there's a lot of side income, investing in one of them. But the concept is if the earlier you start, the better you can, right?
Yeah.
And I think this all accumulates also to someone graduating or even after you're finding a job, whatever, is what I actually shared our last podcast is that you must always live below your means.
Yes.
Doesn't mean you got a lot of money, you got a lot of job, you go in free flow every day, buy bubble tea, that kind lah.
You go talk about Cai Fan again.
So is that lah. But Richard, I mean, what is, I mean, in your opinion, right, what is an advice that you will give or some advice you will give to people that are finding a job right now?
I think for people finding a job, right, just don't restrict yourself. I think right now there is a lot of places to be explored. like in terms of there are new jobs popping up also. I mean, last time maybe there's no AI, right? Then there are new jobs being created in the AI space as well. You know, maybe you need now you can do like AI engineering. You know, you can do coding. You know, I was talking to one of our student Clarence last week also. He said that now AI is taking over his job because he's a coder, right? But I asked him, hey, as a coder, right, now got ChatGPT, how can you make yourself irreplaceable? And he said that, actually, if you are someone who can build on the coding that ChatGPT does, right, it's actually very valuable. Because a lot of people right now, they're very scared to use AI. They're very scared to use the coding function. And if say you can bring it to enterprises, right, you can say, I can help you to build your website based on the coding, and you can use ChatGPT to do it. Actually, you can take on a lot of projects all together at once. So don't just restrict yourself into, I not gonna use AI, I'm not gonna use something that is very foreign to me. So I think my advice is really to open up on all the opportunities out there. And also, like what Bjorn said, you should also have multiple income streams. I think now, not like our parents' generation, you work one job and then the same job for the rest of your life, right? You should definitely look for multiple streams of incomes. In terms of whether is it investing, whether is it like side hustling, have things that can back you up. And also have savings. You never know what you don't know, right? Nothing is 100%, nothing is guaranteed. So make sure that you have at least, we mentioned like about 6 months of savings before you like go and quit your job or before something bad happens. Yeah.
Okay.
What about you, Bjorn?
Yeah, I think that's what I share always be willing to learn. I think Rachel pointed out that you don't know what you don't know. So never think that you are better than anyone, that this is not my field of expertise, I shouldn't learn it. That is the surefire way to get fired, right? That you must always be willing to put yourself down. And I think I like this quote said by someone that if you are the smartest person in the room, right, you are in the wrong room. Simple as that, right? So that the whole idea is just being humble, down to earth, and not thinking like you know everything.
Yeah.
With that, we come to the end of this podcast. So if you enjoy this series, be sure to drop a like and subscribe right over here. We really appreciate your support. So, Rachel, any last closing words before we end this podcast?
Actually, just let us know if there's any topics that you want to know. Please comment. Also, let us know how you're liking the podcast as well. It will really help us to keep this going as well. So really enjoy sharing so many things with you guys, and looking forward to our next few episodes, Bjorn.
Yeah. So for those of you who are finding a job out there, keep going on. Don't throw in the towel. Sooner or later, things happen for a reason, and beautiful things will come your way. All right. Okay. Bye.
See you.